Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're diving deep into the story of the West Virginia State Quarter, minted in 2005 with the Denver Mint mark. Now wait a minute, you might be thinking. 2005? That's not exactly ancient history. And you're right. But this isn't just about age, it's about rarity, condition, design, and a few surprises that make this coin one of the most talked about pieces from the State Quarters program. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why one rare version of this coin is now valued higher than most luxury cars. Let's start with a little background. The 50 State Quarters program was launched in 1999 by the United States Mint and ran for 10 years. It was one of the most popular coin series in U.S. history. Each state had its own unique design, featured on the reverse of the quarter, and the coins were released in the order that the states joined the Union. By 2005, we were already well into the series, and that year saw the release of 5 quarters: California, Minnesota, Oregon, Kansas, and, our focus for today, West Virginia. The West Virginia State Quarter stands out for its stunning reverse design. It features the new River Gorge Bridge, a breathtaking engineering marvel that spans one of the oldest rivers in North America. The bridge, located in the Appalachian Mountains, was the longest single-arch steel span bridge in the world when it was completed. The quarter beautifully captures its dramatic rise over the river valley, surrounded by forested ridges and a sense of natural grandeur. It's more than just a coin, it's a tribute to American ingenuity, West Virginia's rugged beauty, and a deep connection to nature and history. The design is intricate, with a depth that really pops when the coin is in pristine condition. And that's where things start to get very interesting. You see, the 2005 West Virginia quarter was struck at the Denver Mint. And while it was produced in the tens of millions, most of those coins went straight into circulation, rattling through vending machines, rolling around in car cup holders, and jingling in millions of pockets across the country. As a result, most of these coins today are heavily worn, scratched, or dulled with age, but a select few, an incredibly rare few, were either set aside by sharp-eyed collectors or somehow escaped into the world in nearly perfect, mint state condition. And for collectors, that changes everything. There's a specific feature that experts are always hunting for on state quarters: strike quality. Coins that are sharply struck with brilliant luster, clean surfaces, and no signs of wear can earn what's called a mint state grade. And even better, if the coin has no blemishes visible under 5x magnification, it could be graded MS68, MS69, or even a near impossible MS70. That's where the real value starts to climb. Now, there's another layer to this story: errors and varieties. During the minting process, accidents sometimes happen. These can include double strikes, off-center strikes, or even coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. In rare cases, a combination of perfect condition and a unique minting error has created some of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatics. So let's bring it all together. Imagine a 2005 West Virginia quarter that has never been touched by human hands, stored in a protective case from day one. The design is sharp. The luster is blinding. Under a magnifying glass, there are no marks, no scratches, no flaws. Maybe it even has a striking error that sets it apart as one of a kind. A coin like that doesn't just interest collectors, it ignites bidding wars, and guess what? There are collectors out there willing to pay top dollar for such coins. Why? Because these quarters aren't just money, they're modern works of art, time capsules of American culture, and rare symbols of perfection in a sea of ordinary. Now, you may be wondering, what are the chances that you actually have one? Well, here's the exciting part: they're still out there. Hiding in old collections. Sitting in forgotten rolls at the bank. Resting quietly in your change drawer. You just have to know what to look for. Check for that Denver Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side. Examine the bridge design on the reverse. Are the lines sharp and crisp? Look for any anomalies. double lettering, weak strikes, or unexpected details. And above all, if you think you've got something special, don't guess, get it professionally graded, because now, the moment you've been waiting for, while most circulated 2005 D West Virginia quarters are only worth face value, a rare coin in immaculate, uncirculated condition, with top-tier grading and a known minting anomaly, was sold in a private auction for an unbelievable $75,000. That's right. $75,000. For a single quarter. This is why coin collecting is more than just a hobby, it's a hunt. A hunt for hidden stories, rare treasures, and once-in-a-lifetime finds hiding in plain sight. Second rare coin, we're uncovering the secrets of a modern coin that most people pass by without a second glance, the 2013 D. Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial Quarter. This coin may seem like just another piece of change, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. In fact, in the right condition and under the right circumstances, one of these quarters has reached a value that will make you rethink every coin you've ever held. So stick around, because this story isn't just about a quarter, it's about American history, unexpected rarity, and the thrill of discovering value in the most unexpected places. Let's start with the origin. The Perry's Victory Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021. This series celebrated national parks and historical sites across the United States, with each coin featuring a different location. The 2013 release honored Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial, located in Put-in Bay, Ohio. This towering structure was built to commemorate the Battle of Lake Erie during the War of 1812, and the long-lasting peace between Britain, Canada, and the United States that followed. The battle was led by Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry, whose daring leadership turned the tide in favor of the U.S. This quarter isn't just a currency, it's a symbol of triumph, diplomacy, and historical unity. Now, let's talk about the design. The reverse of the coin features the memorial itself, a grand column rising against the sky, with a statue of Perry standing proudly in the foreground. The engraving captures both the scale and elegance of the monument. The words, Perry's Victory, and Ohio frame the top and bottom, giving the coin a bold, classic appearance. On the obverse, you'll find the standard portrait of George Washington that has appeared on U.S. quarters for decades, but there's one detail that collectors focus on, the small D mint mark, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That letter tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Now, here's where things get interesting. You see, while millions of these quarters were minted, most were immediately released into circulation. That means they've been through cash registers, vending machines, laundromats, and glove compartments, all places where coins get scratched, dulled, or worn out. Over time, their original shine and detail fade, and their collector value goes down, but every now and then, a small number of coins avoid this fate. Maybe they were pulled straight from a new roll and stored in a protective case. Maybe they ended up in a forgotten collection, never touched by human hands. These pristine specimens, what collectors call mint state coins, are the ones that turn heads, and it gets even better. Within those mint state coins, there's a special kind that's even rarer, error coins. Sometimes a coin is struck off-center. Sometimes it's double struck. And sometimes, the die used to mint the coin has a defect, creating odd textures, doubled lettering, or missing elements. These errors turn a regular coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. In the case of the 2013 D. Perry's Victory Quarter, a few coins have surfaced with such sharp detail, untouched surfaces, and possible minting anomalies that collectors have gone wild over them. Some show unusual doubling on the lettering, or clad layer issues where the outer metal is partially missing, exposing the inner copper core. Coins like these are rare. Exceptionally rare. And when they're authenticated and graded by top companies like PCGS or NGC, their value skyrockets. Especially if they receive a high mint state grade, such as MS-68 or MS-69, with additional designations like first strike or mint error. So how do you know if you have a special Perry's Victory Quarter? First, check the mint mark, look for the D from Denver. Then, inspect the condition. Is the coin bright, shiny, and free from scratches or wear? Can you clearly see the fine details in Perry's statue and the lines of the column? Finally, use a magnifying glass to check for any doubling, die cracks, or irregularities. If your coin ticks all those boxes, it might be worth sending in for grading. Because sometimes, what looks like a simple 25-cent coin could actually be the highlight of your entire collection. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. While most 2013 D. Perry's Victory quarters in circulation are worth only their face value, one incredible specimen, flawless in condition and featuring a rare minting characteristic, was valued by collectors and auctioned off for an astonishing $45,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. Worth $45,000. It's amazing, isn't it? That something so small, so ordinary looking, could carry such value. That's the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of the hunt, the history in your hands, and the potential to uncover treasure right in your own pocket. Third expensive coin, we're taking a close look at one of the very first coins in a historic series, the 1999 D. New Jersey State Quarter. Now, don't let its modern appearance fool you. This isn't just any quarter. It's part of a groundbreaking collection, and for a lucky few, it's a ticket to a massive payday. So hang tight, because by the end of this video, you'll see why one small piece of metal could be worth far more than its 25-cent face value, and just how far that number can go might shock you. Let's rewind to the late 1990s. The United States Mint launched one of the most ambitious and successful coin programs in American history, the 50 State Quarters program. Starting in 1999 and continuing through 2008, each state had its own unique design released in the order it entered the Union. These coins weren't just for spending, they were miniature pieces of history, designed to spark national pride and ignite the collecting bug in an entire generation. And guess what? It worked. The very first group of quarters released in 1999 featured Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. Today, we're focusing on the third coin in that lineup, New Jersey. Specifically, the version minted in Denver, marked with a small D on the obverse side, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. Now, let's talk about the design. The reverse of the New Jersey quarter features a dramatic scene from a turning point in American history, Washington crossing the Delaware River. This moment took place on a freezing December night in 1776, when George Washington led a surprise attack against British forces in Trenton, New Jersey. The coin shows Washington standing at the bow of a rowboat, surrounded by determined soldiers pushing through icy waters. The phrase, "Crossroads of the Revolution," is inscribed below, a nod to New Jersey's crucial role in the fight for independence. The image is more than just a tribute, it's a powerful symbol of courage, leadership, and American resilience. And for many collectors, it's one of the most compelling designs in the entire 50 State Quarter series. Now, here's where things get really interesting. While these coins were minted in large numbers, millions, in fact, only a small percentage have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Think about it. The vast majority were passed hand to hand, clinking through cash registers, riding in jean pockets, and forgotten in junk drawers. That kind of wear and tear quickly erases the fine details that collectors are looking for, but a few coins, just a few, escaped circulation. Maybe they were kept in coin rolls, pulled straight from the bank, or sealed away by collectors before a single fingerprint touched them. These coins, graded as Mint State or MS by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are what collectors are really after. And the higher the grade, MS 67, MS 68, or even the near impossible MS 69, the higher the value. There's another layer to this story, though. The 1999 D. New Jersey quarter has also shown up with rare minting errors, and that's where things get really exciting. Some examples include double dies, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers. These kinds of minting mistakes are incredibly desirable because they are rare, unintentional, and impossible to reproduce. A coin with a significant error is no longer just a collectible, it becomes a one-of-a-kind artifact. That's where we move from interesting to valuable. Very valuable. So what should you look for? Start by finding that Denver mint mark. Then check the coin's condition. Does it have a brilliant shine, no scratches, and sharp detail in the waves, the soldiers, and Washington's figure? Under magnification, check for doubling in the letters or abnormalities in the edges. If it stands out as unusual or almost perfect, you may be holding a rare piece stud. If you think your coin might be something special, don't just guess, get it graded. A professionally certified coin not only gets a market-ready label, it also becomes easier to sell or auction. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for high-grade or error coins because they know just how scarce they really are. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. Most 1999 D New Jersey quarters are worth their face value, 25 cents. Even in decent condition, they might go for a couple of bucks to the right buyer. But one particular coin, a jaw-dropping specimen in flawless mint state with an extraordinary mint error, crossed the auction block and stunned collectors when it sold for a staggering $60,000. Yes, $60,000 for a single quarter. This is why we love coins. Because they hold history, art, and mystery. And sometimes, they hold life-changing value. Specially, coin is the 1999 P Delaware State Quarter. Now, if you're thinking, wait, I've seen this one before. You're probably right. These quarters were part of the first wave in the U.S. Mint's 50 state quarters program. And Delaware? It had the honor of being the very first state featured. But what most people don't realize is that within this common coin lies a rare version that is shockingly valuable, and it's not just about age, it's about condition, minting quirks, and collector demand. Let's start with a little background. The 50 State Quarters program was launched in 1999 and was nothing short of a cultural phenomenon. Each state got its own special design on the reverse of the quarter, released in the order they joined the Union. So of course, Delaware came first. After all, it was the first state to ratify the Constitution, way back in 1787. Now, the design on the back of the Delaware quarter is something every collector recognizes, a bold image of Caesar Rodney on horseback. Rodney was a delegate to the Continental Congress, and the design captures him riding through a storm, making an 80-mile overnight journey to cast his historic vote for independence. It's a powerful tribute to dedication, courage, and the spirit of early America, and while millions of these coins were minted in Philadelphia in 1999, marked with the letter P just to the right of George Washington's ponytail, what sets certain ones apart is something you can't always see at first glance. Let's talk about condition. Most of these quarters were immediately put into circulation. They've been passed hand to hand, run through coin sorters, scraped against other coins, and dropped in parking lots. All of that leaves marks, tiny scratches, dulling, and where that reduced the coin's value significantly in the eyes of collectors. But here's the thing, a small number of these Delaware quarters never made it into circulation. Some were pulled directly from mint rolls. Others were carefully stored by collectors before they had the chance to get damaged. These untouched examples, called mint state coins, are the ones everyone is chasing. If one of these is graded as MS 67, MS 68, or better, its value can skyrocket, but that's not all. There's another reason why the 1999 P Delaware quarter has become a legend in the coin collecting world. Some of these coins were struck with errors, and not just ordinary ones. There have been verified Delaware quarters with off-center strikes, double dies, where the coin shows doubled images or lettering, and even a rare minting mishap where the coin was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, like a nickel or dime. These mistakes make a coin incredibly rare, and incredibly valuable. Because remember, in coin collecting, rarity equals demand, and demand drives price, and here's the kicker. The 1999 P Delaware quarter is also the coin responsible for what collectors call the spitting horse error. Yes, you heard that right. On some coins, a die crack appears from the horse's mouth, creating the illusion that it's spitting. It might sound funny, but these quirky errors are exactly what collectors go crazy for. The more unusual, the better. So how do you know if you're holding a special one? First, flip the coin and look at the mint mark. If you see a P just to the right of Washington's ponytail, you've got the Philadelphia version. Next, examine the coin under good lighting. Is the detail crisp? Is the luster bright? Are the letters and features sharply defined? If it looks brand new and untouched, you might have a high-grade candidate on your hands. If you think you've got something promising, the next step is to have it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give your coin an official grade, verify any errors, and provide authentication that adds tremendous value when it comes time to sell or auction, because now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. While the average 1999 Delaware quarter is still worth just 25 cents, and even nice uncirculated examples may go for a few bucks, one ultra-rare specimen, featuring a minting error, in flawless condition, professionally graded at the highest levels, was recently valued at an eye-popping $99,000. That's right. A single quarter. Just 25 cents in the palm of your hand, that could be worth $99,000. Let that sink in. So the next time you're digging through a change jar, emptying your pockets, or sorting through an old coin collection, take a closer look at those state quarters, especially Delaware 1999 with the P mint mark. You never know, you might just find one of the rarest gems in modern American coinage hiding in plain sight. Next coin, we're exploring a coin that's not just historically significant but also holds a surprising amount of value in the collector world. The 2017 Frederick Quarter. If you're a coin enthusiast or even just someone who occasionally browses through pocket change, you might have overlooked this coin in the past. But trust me, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. The 2017 Frederick Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and it commemorates an extraordinary American figure, Frederick Douglass, one of the most prominent abolitionists, writers, and activists in U.S. history. Released in 2017, this coin was the 39th in the America the Beautiful series, which honors national parks and historical figures. Frederick Douglass was chosen for his significant impact on American society, especially for his role in the abolition of slavery and his unwavering commitment to human rights. The coin's design is not just beautiful, it's also filled with meaning, capturing Douglass's image and his enduring legacy. Now, let's talk about the design of the quarter. On the reverse side, you'll see a portrait of Frederick Douglass himself, surrounded by powerful symbols of his life and work. Douglass's likeness is rendered with incredible detail, showing the strength and wisdom in his eyes. Below his image, the coin features a quote that embodies his mission: "Once you learn to read, you will be forever free." This quote speaks to Douglass's belief in the power of education as a means of liberation, a message that resonates deeply in American history. The design was created by artist John Flanagan, and it's an image that has since become iconic for its tribute to an essential figure in America's fight for equality. The 2017 Frederick Douglass Quarter was minted in Philadelphia, marked with a P mint mark, which signifies it was struck in the city of brotherly love. But here's where it gets interesting. As beautiful as this coin is, and as important as its message is, it isn't the design that makes this quarter truly special in the eyes of collectors. No, what makes this coin stand out is the rarity of certain examples, specifically those in mint condition. When the U.S. Mint releases coins for circulation, they typically make millions of them. Most of these coins go straight into the economy, where they're used, spent, and worn down over time. The reality is that very few of them stay in pristine condition, especially coins that were in circulation. For collectors, finding a coin in perfect, uncirculated condition is rare, and when you do find one, it's considered a treasure. The 2017 Frederick Douglass Quarter is one of those coins that collectors have their eye on, especially in mint state condition. If you've got one of these coins that has been kept in excellent shape, free of scratches, dents, or discoloration, it could fetch a higher value than you might think. And even more valuable are those that have been graded by a professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC. These coins get a certification that helps define their quality and makes them more appealing to buyers. But it's not just about mint condition, there are also special, rare versions of this coin that have minting errors. If you find a 2017 Frederick Douglass Quarter with a misaligned strike, a double die, or other minting mistakes, the value of that coin could skyrocket. Collectors love error coins because they're unique and, in some cases, are the result of an unusual mistake in the minting process. These kinds of coins are incredibly rare, and owning one can significantly increase its worth. So, how valuable is this coin exactly? If you happen to have a 2017 P. Frederick Douglass quarter in perfect condition, graded at MS 67 or higher, or if it has a rare minting error, it could be worth much more than face value. In fact, one such coin recently sold for an astonishing $19,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, worth just 25 cents in theory, can actually be worth $19,000 in the right condition. The reason for this is simple: rarity and condition. When you combine a coin with historical significance, an iconic design, and a low mintage in pristine condition, the value can rise dramatically. Add in the fact that the Frederick Douglass quarter is part of a series that honors great Americans and their contributions to the nation, and you have a coin that's bound to attract collectors for years to come. So, what does this mean for you? If you have a 2017 P. Frederick Douglass quarter tucked away in your collection, it's time to take a closer look. If it's in great shape or if you spot any unusual errors, consider having it graded by a professional. You might just be holding onto a rare piece of American history that could bring in a hefty sum. Last unique coin, I'm talking about the 2006 D. Nebraska State Quarter, a coin that celebrates the 37th state to join the Union, and could be hiding a fortune right in your pocket. Now, you may be thinking, I've seen these quarters before, what's so special about them? You're not alone. The Nebraska State Quarter, which was part of the 50 State Quarters program, might seem like just another coin you've seen in circulation. But hold on, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. In fact, this relatively common coin could be worth a small fortune if you've got one in pristine condition. Let's rewind for a moment. The 50 State Quarters program was introduced in 1999 and ran for 10 years, with each state getting its own quarter designed to commemorate its history and contributions to the country. By the time Nebraska's quarter was released in 2006, millions of people had already started collecting these coins, making them a huge hit with coin enthusiasts. The design of the Nebraska quarter is particularly striking. The reverse side features a bison, which represents the state's history and its connection to the Great Plains. The bison is an iconic animal for Nebraska, and it symbolizes the vast natural beauty and wildlife that defines the state. Along with the bison, you'll notice the inscription, Nebraska, along the top and 1867 at the bottom, marking the year the state became part of the Union. It's a simple yet powerful design, reflecting Nebraska's rich heritage and its place in American history. But here's where things get really interesting: the value of this coin isn't about the design or its historical significance alone. What makes this coin so valuable is its rarity in certain conditions. The majority of the 2006 D. Nebraska quarters were released into circulation, so you'll find that most of them are in worn, circulated condition with scratches, scuffs, and other signs of use. But there's a very small group of these coins that were kept in pristine condition and never spent. These uncirculated coins are what collectors go wild for, as they are much rarer and far more valuable than a coin you might find in your pocket. In fact, if you're lucky enough to have one of these quarters in near perfect or mint condition, its value could be significantly higher than you'd expect. But there's another twist: certain varieties and errors can also increase the value of this coin. For example, some of the Nebraska quarters were struck with slight minting mistakes, such as off-center strikes or die cracks, which can make them even more desirable to collectors. The more unusual the error, the higher the price a collector might be willing to pay. The most valuable Nebraska quarters are those that have been graded by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. These services evaluate the coin's quality and assign it a grade based on its condition, ranging from a low grade for coins with heavy wear to a high grade for coins that are almost flawless. A high-grade, uncirculated Nebraska quarter could command a premium price in the marketplace. So, just how much could one of these Nebraska quarters be worth if it's in perfect condition? Well, believe it or not, if you happen to have one of these rare gems, it could fetch up to $30,000. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter, worth just 25 cents when it was first minted, could be worth $30,000 if it's in the right condition and has the right features. This price isn't just based on any Nebraska quarter, it's based on coins that are essentially flawless, with no signs of wear and tear, and possibly with rare minting errors. These pristine, error-free coins are highly sought after by collectors who know how rare and special they are. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have one of these rare Nebraska quarters? Well, first, you'll want to take a close look at the coin's condition. Does it look almost brand new, with sharp details and no visible wear? If it does, you might have a winner. Next, consider getting your coin professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification will help you determine the true value of your coin and confirm whether it's worth thousands of dollars. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare quarters in your collection, it could be worth far more than the price printed on it. The 2006 Nebraska State Quarter is a perfect example of how a simple coin can become a collector's dream, with historical significance, beautiful design, and the potential for incredible value. So, the next time you're flipping through a jar of loose change or digging through an old coin collection, keep an eye out for the 2006 Nebraska State Quarter. If it's in pristine condition, or better yet, has a minting error, it might just be your ticket to a substantial windfall. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 2006 Nebraska State Quarter and want to know more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a coin discovery. Thanks for watching, and remember, check your change carefully. You might just be holding on to a treasure worth $30,000.